What's up there, YouTube? Eric here with Team Islanders, doing a deck profile on my Photon Skill Drain deck. Took this deck to locals on Saturday and actually went 4-0. Went up against 3 hero decks and 1 agent deck, which was pretty fun. I haven't been able to go to locals in a while, so it's just nice to go back there, and it's pretty cool to win. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the deck profile. And also, a quick note, I did a contest video earlier today. I'll have a link down to that, or link to that down below in the description, along with link to my trade binder. So yeah, go check those out. But for now, let's get to the deck. Since it's photons, I run 2 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons. Big boss monster of the deck. I love getting him up if I have a Call the Haunted bringing him back, which you'll get to in a minute, because then I can just banish him out and bring him back, and Call the Haunted's not affected on it anymore. And also, with the amount of exceeding going on in this format, I just love bringing this guy up. Even if it's a Utopia, if I attack into Utopia, they just try to negate it, I still get the banishing effect, which would banish both of them, bring it back, and then they lose their materials. So yeah, Zen mains, bye-bye. Utopia, bye-bye. Anything that they just want to sit on, Gotchi even, if it's an agent deck like I faced. So yeah, 2 of him. Next, I run 3 Photon Saber Tigers, obviously. If he's normal summoned or flip summoned, you can search for 1 and add it to your hand in your deck. He's just good for thinning out your deck. Also gives you possibilities for rank 3 exceeds. Only bad thing is if you don't have another one on the field, he loses 800 attack, so he goes down to 1200. But usually with what I have for my back row, I can protect it or still bring it back next turn. So more than likely, I'm always going to be able to get 2 of them up if I have at least 1 in hand. Next, run 2 Photon Thrashers. Most people know this card just for its tech ability in Heroes, so yeah, it doesn't need explaining. Next, I run 2 Photon Crushers, basically the giant orc. If he attacks, he goes to defense after he attacks, and he's a 2000 attack, 0 defense. So yeah, I love opening up with a Thrasher and Crusher in hand because you summon both of them, and then you can rank 4 exceed. Next, because it's skill drain, I run 2 Beast King Barbaros. Just the skill drain staple, I guess you can say. If he has skill drain up on the field, he's a summonable 3k beater. Next, I run 1 Guardian of Order. It's pretty good. I mean, obviously for 25k beat stick, or 25,000, not 25k, 2,500, sorry, I'm getting a little tongue twisted. If I have 2 light monsters on the field, I can just special summon it from my hand. Being level 8, it lets me go into rank 8 exceeds with Barbaros and Galaxy Eyes. Next, because most of the deck is light, I run 1 Honest, obviously, and also 2 Veilers. I used to run 3, but with the slower format, I decided to cut it down to make a little space. So yeah, that's it for the monsters. Moving on to spells. Run 3 Photon Sanctuaries. What this card does, it lets me summon 2 Photon tokens, 2000 attack, 0 defense, level 4, light, thunder types. They can't be used for synchro material monsters, and they're summoned in defense. They can't attack, and I can't summon any monsters that turn except for light monsters, but it's good if I want to stall out a turn, or this card is basically tailor-made for Galaxy Eyes, because being 2000 attack, I can tribute them to special summon Galaxy Eyes. So yeah, I run 3 of that. Next, I run 2 Pilot Dualities, just helps me bring a little bit more speed to the deck, search out for a card that I may need. So next, 1 Rhoda to search out for a Thrasher or a Crusher. If I have one of those 2 in hand, and this in hand first turn, then I instantly have a rank 4 exceeds because I'll just search out for the other one. Next, staples, 1 Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and then I was running 2 MSTs, but I had to bump it up to 3 because before locals I had a build, which I still have a build, of instead of 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, I would be running 2 and also 2 Forbidden Lance, but I wasn't able to get the lances in time, so I just put a 3rd MST in there and threw a compulsory evacuation device also, which you'll see in a minute. But just keep in mind that my ideal deck would be 2 MSTs and 2 Forbidden Lance and no Compulse. Although Compulse did pretty good work, so I don't know, I may keep it. Next, for traps, run 3 skill drains, obviously, being a skill drain deck. I love this card. It stops almost any deck out there. Only ones it doesn't really do anything against are Dark Worlds and Heroes. The funny thing is, against all three hero decks, I sided out all three skill drains and both Veilers each duel, or each time, or each match. I sided out those three and one Call the Haunted, and I put in the same 6 cards, and that just helped me out. Next, run Solemn Brigade, obviously. You know, staple. Run 1 Mirror Force. A lot of people aren't really running this, but I just like the mass monster removal, especially if I can bait them, you know, with a 12k or 12,000. 1200 Photon Saber Tiger. You know, they want to run into that, then I'm just be like, nope, and then I get to keep it. Then summon the next one next turn. Next, the 1 Compulse that I detect in here, it's actually pretty good. I may keep it, you know, with, like I said, with all the Exceed monsters running around, you know, it's nice to just be able to flip it and bounce it back. Next, since I love mass monster removal, I'll run 2 2 Torrential Tributes. I am really messed up today, sorry. If my opponent decides to overextend, then I can just go Torrential and stop them, and then even if I have a field presence, then next turn or at the end of phase, I can just bring him back with any of my 3 Call the Haunted, which I do run 3 of, because I love this card in this deck, because if I bring back any of my monsters, I'm guaranteed almost at least a 2,000 attack, because any of the monsters that are worth bringing back, you know, Saber Tigers, Crushers, Thrashers, Guardian of Order, Barbaros, Galaxy Eyes, you know, any of those, I'm guaranteed a big monster. So yeah, that's why I love running 3 of them. Next, for the extra deck, run 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon for any of the, you know, machine decks running around, especially the Machina, Giragia, Gadget Giragia, you know, any of those machine decks, just be able to contact Fusion out with my sided Cyber Dragons. Next, run 1 Armory Arm in case I have to go Veiler Saber Tiger, 1 Catastor, 1 Black Rose. I don't run level 6 Synchros because it's impossible to make, really, unless, you know, I Monster Reborn something back from my opponent's grave, and that's really conditional, so I'd rather just have the extra slot. Next, I run 1 Stardust, 1 Mistworm, and that's it for the Synchros. Next, for the Exceeds, for rank 3s, I run 1 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Zen Mains, and 1 Acid Golem. These are pretty easy to get up with Saber Tigers and my back row protection for them. So yeah, I was running a Leviair, but I decided to take it out for Zen Mains. Next, for rank 4s, I run 1 Utopia, 1 Gem Knight Pearl, 1 Maestroke. He did a lot of work. Normally, you know, I would go Utopia first turn, but during the locals, I opened Thrasher, Crusher, and went into this guy almost every time. You know, just summon in defense, can't be destroyed, get the Book of Moon effect. You know, he's really good. 1 Photon Papilloperative. A lot of people say Butterfly Assassin because they can't pronounce the name, but it's Papilloperative, or at least I'm pretty sure. Okay, and that's it for the rank 4s. You know, just generic ones, kind of. I was running a Roach, but I traded that away for some better cards, and I wasn't really using it anyway. Next, for rank 8s, I run 1 Heliopolis and 1 Neo Galaxy Eyes. Because it is Photons, if I was able to ever get a Neo Galaxy Eyes up, it's just really good. I was actually able to get it up about a month or so ago, which made me really happy. And Heliopolis is almost achievable almost any game, just because of Barbaros, Guardian of Order, and Galaxy Eyes. You run, you know, a good amount of level 8s to where with Call the Haunted you're able to bring them back and summon them. Next, I'm just going to show you all my side deck just real quick. I know this video is pretty long, it's hitting 9 minutes. Run 2 Cyber Dragons in my side, 2 Thunder King Ryos. I sided these in along with my Grand Mole, my Lava Golem, and the 2 Prohibitions. These 6 were what I sided in against all 3 hero decks, and they saved me a lot. I really only drew this guy. This guy actually let me get into a nice little loop. I had a Thrasher on the field and this in hand. My opponent kept setting the same monster because I would summon this, attack, bounce him back, and then I'd have a clear field except for Thrasher, allowing him to attack direct. So it was just really nice. This kind of stopped him, you know, with the heroes. Prohibition, I called that on Neos Alias, and the guy just was kind of mad. for a little bit, but it didn't really do me much. So Lava Golem, I only summoned him up once, and the guy Torrential Tributed right after I summoned it, so I didn't get any burn, but I got to destroy their monster. And I think it was a Shining is actually one of the cards that I stopped, so stopped them from getting that monster back. Next, I run 1 Needle Sealing just in case I ever do face any windups. Then I run 2 Macrocosmos. If I sided this in, then I'm going to side out 2 Call the Haunted because they don't combo well. Next, I run 2 Fiendish Chains in my side also, just to give a little bit more negation. You know, if I'm facing Dark Worlds, maybe I'll take out with Skill Drains and put these in to stop their Graphas. And also, obviously, speaking of Dark Worlds, put in my 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. A lot of people are actually not citing this anymore, but I still really like it just because, you know, Dark Worlds are still up there. They're still, you know, tier 1.5, tier 2, whatever you want to call it. They're still around, and, you know, I want to be prepared for them, along with any other decks that run Dark Monsters, like Insectors. You know, if anybody's net decking off of Billy Break, which really makes no sense because I think Billy Break is the only person that can play Insectors now because he's Billy fucking Break. So yeah, that's it for my deck. I think that's everything. I hope y'all like it. Once again, it's a Photon Skill Drain deck. If you're interested in a deck list, just leave a comment down below if you weren't able to get it, I guess. So yeah, don't forget to thumbs up this video. Check down below for a link to my trade binder and also to a contest announcement that I did earlier today. And I think that's everything. So it's getting right about or close to 12 minutes, so I'm going to cut it out now. So yeah, once again, this is Eric with Team Islanders, signing off.